Okay, so this morning's training is on collaborations, and I am a massive, oh, here's someone else coming in. I'm a massive lover of collaborations. I think they're a brilliant way to allow businesses to grow, particularly small businesses, um, without massive cost being put into it. So the actual dictionary definition is the action of working with somebody to produce something. And the business definition is companies working together for a common purpose to achieve a business benefit. So that's the sort of one that we're going to be focusing on just now. But before we start on collaborations, the main thing to look at is why you're going to do it. And anyone that's ever been in any training courses with me knows that the purpose of something is the most important thing. So you need to know the purpose. And that purpose has to be a big enough incentive to keep you motivated, and it needs to be worth doing. And that really links into everything because if I've done multiple collaborations. Some have worked, some haven't. The shorter ones for me have worked better. I did a year-long collaboration with two other businesses, and it was very hard to maintain that length of collaboration. People's their motivation went up and down, and yeah, the learning from that was the incentive, the purpose in doing it wasn't quite enough to keep everybody motivated for a long term. So what is the purpose? Now, the purpose can be for something really simple, like you want to make money, you want more visibility, you want their followers, whatever it is, make sure it's a big enough purpose to keep the longevity going. The second thing you have to think about is the structure. Is it going to be a flat structure or a hierarchical? I need to learn this word because I say it all the time, hierarchical. Now we'll go into what they are as well. But the structure of your collaboration is really important as well because some people have time to put in, some people have got money to put in, some people want to just are natural leaders and some are not. So we'll look at that in a bit more detail. What are your values? So your values need to align as well. I was watching it was years ago now, but I was watching a webinar and it was two different financial advisors and they talked about the same thing and their answers were the same. Everything they did, they agreed with. There was no differential there's nothing to differentiate them in regards to their experience. But when I came off that call, I was with another business colleague and she's like, oh, I'd pick that one. I said, that's funny, I'd pick that one because our values align differently. So if you're doing any collaboration with somebody, you need to have similar aligning values. For example, if for you customer service is everything, but for them it's not, that will fall apart quite quickly. So the thing I would say as well, though, don't then just pick a friend who's in business because you know you get on. That could be quite dangerous too, because if it doesn't work out, that could sour things, even though the same values are there because you're friends. So get to know the person who you're going to be collaborating with to check if that is going to sustain the length of the collaboration. And that kind of goes into the relationship side of things as well. There's a lot of people. So one of my best friends, who I've known since I was 7 years old, is one of the most amazing businesswomen I know. She's fantastic. I will never, ever do any business with her though, because we work differently. And while I know we will make it a success, I think because we work differently, it would break a friendship. So be very wary of friends and family collaborations. They can work, but yeah, it can also sour things. Think of if it goes wrong, how will it work out? Now that relationship as well might be really business black and white. It might be that, for instance, I have time to put into collaboration and this person has no time. They have no interest in actually speaking to customers, but they will put money in. Whatever the relationship is, that has to be sustainable and it needs to be really ironed out who's doing what at the start. Communication is key as well as in everything you do, but how are you actually going to communicate? Is there somebody who will naturally do minutes of meetings, the admin work, whereas the other person will go off and meet different people? How are you going to communicate, and what method? Will you be having Zoom calls or face-to-face meetings? I work with somebody who only likes face-to-face stuff, whereas I am much better and easier to get hold of if they can jump on a Zoom call. So we pass in the night the whole time. We never actually manage to catch up. So how do you communicate? How do they communicate? How often are you going to communicate? And that is really, really important to get that right at the start as well. What is the outcome that you both want? I'm saying both. There could be multiple people within a collaboration, but what is the outcome that you both want? And they can be different, and it's okay for them to be different as long as the nuts and bolts and the detail of the collaboration ticks both those boxes. Now, it might be that they just want access to your audience and you just want access to their funding. It could be really simple. And it's if you're going into collaboration, these money, time, and leadership type conversations have to be had. So, what is the outcome you both want, and how are you going to evaluate it? Because when you come to the end of it, you need to know, okay, it worked for you, it didn't work for me. How are we going to evaluate it? If it's something as simple as, I want more female followers between 45 and 55 on my Instagram by the end of this collaboration, then do you know how to go into your insights to test that, to see if that percentage is higher? So again, know how you can evaluate it at the end, because if you come out of it and one person like, that was great, and another person like, well, I'm not too sure. Well, you should be sure. You should be sure if it worked or it didn't. Because as soon as you get that if, but, maybes, you start to have a bit of a bad feeling. So make sure you know what the outcome is going to be and how you're going to evaluate it, and who is going to evaluate it. So who has access to the information? This will depend on the purpose and the outcome of it, but who has access to that information in order to be able to evaluate it? And then the final thing is really investment. What investment do you have to put in? And that is in time investment as well as financial investment. Now, if you're doing a collaboration where it's more of a marketing collaboration where you do stuff together online and there's no money involved, it's just time, that's something to look at. If it's something where you need to develop a product or a service, or you're going to do workshops together, you need the cost covered, then maybe need a deposit for a venue, etc. Who's going to cover that? Now, generally, there's always in most collaborations somebody that's got a bit more time and somebody's got a bit more investment. Now, and then if you've decided actually this is what you want to do, you don't have any money to put in, either of you, then how are you going to do it? How are you going to adapt it? So these are the really important things before you even get to a collaboration, the sort of things that you need to be thinking about, because they're all the basics, but they're the bits that will break down any business relationship, be it a collaboration or any business relationship, even between you and a client. So purpose, structure, values, relationship, communication, outcome and evaluation, and investment. I will send you a recording of this as well if you don't try to write that down like 100 miles per hour. See Tracy's hand going like this. Okay, so think about that before you get started. The next part is to work out the structure of your collaboration. Now, these are the parts people don't think about, but it will come out. It will come out in the wash. So first of all, do you want an open or a closed collaboration? So an open collaboration is basically when you put the idea. So I want to collaborate with a company who does SEO. I want to, so search engine optimization. I want to link with a company who does that because my clients that do the socials and marketing are rubbish at their websites, and I need somebody to link up with that. So let's say that's my thing. So an open collaboration is I put that out there to the world. Here is a brief that I have. And the brief is key because it's going out to lots of people. So I put this out, say, in LinkedIn or into business groups. This is my ask. I'm looking for people to collaborate. This is the project. Now, this is going out to the masses. So the advantages is that you'll have a lot more options of people to work with. You'll also be able to find somebody that's really suited because you'll have the different options to look through and go, they've got the right values, they've got the time, they've got the investment, they've got the same communication style as me. So that is a positive. The downside is when you put it out there, you tend to get a lot of people you don't want to work with coming towards you as well. You are working with the unknown, you don't know these people. And also, if you're inundated, you need to read through it all as well. So there's some real big negatives in there. But if you're looking to collaborate with somebody and you don't know somebody within that field, an open collaboration is really the route you're going to have to go down. But it has massive positives in that it will also open your network up to so many new people, which is always or can be quite exciting. A closed collaboration is completely the opposite. So it's where you are going to somebody to say, I want to collaborate with you, and this is what I want to collaborate on. So it's fit for purpose in that you're going to that person because they have what you need. So if I know somebody who does SEO, I can go to them and say, I want you to do this collaboration with me. The advantage is it is a known commodity. You know who you're going to. You're going to them because either you've worked with them or you've had good word of mouth testimonial, etc. So it's quicker, it's easier, much easier. The downside is you could be cutting off some amazing collaborations that are out there because you've not put it out to the wider field. So this is where you have to decide, first of all, what will be best for you. And for me, there's massive disadvantages in the open one in that you could have everybody coming to you and you're just like totally overwhelmed and you put it to the side. But the massive advantage of it is that, the actual depth of knowledge that you might gain from putting it out there. The closed ones can be really good if you really, again, the brief is key on this. Why are you going to them? What is it you want from it, and what will they get from it as well? Because you're actually going to sell this idea to them. You're not putting it out there to everyone that might want to do it. You have to sell the idea to them because it's just one-on-one, which is fantastic. But be careful if you're doing a closed one with that friends, family relationship again, because always think about what if it goes wrong. Or if there's somebody, like I've got a really nice group of business friends and they're all brilliant at what they do. But I would be really nervous to do a collaboration with one of them in case it didn't work and it ruined that. So that's your closed bit. Okay, so that's open closed. The next one is your hierarchy and your flat. So basically your hierarchy type structure is where you have a boss that delegates to others. So this is where you may naturally have a leader within the collaboration, or you may have somebody who they've proposed it and they want to run it. It might be that just one person's got more time or has more input due to the nature of the collaboration than the other. For instance, I don't know if you guys know Julie Christie Clark or Tracy Ewell, but Jules basically, she collaborates with Canva. Now, Canva don't do anything. They basically give her affiliate codes that when she sells stuff and she does stuff, she'll get money from Canva. Similar to YouTube, when people look at her videos, YouTube shows paid adverts in between because she gets so many views. So she has those almost hierarchy type structure because she is making money from the work she is doing, collaborating with others, but the others are not directly involved other than, yes, we're happy to collaborate, here's what you need from us, go and do it yourself. Another type of hierarchy might be where there's 2 or 3 of you, or there might be multiple, there might be teams of people within offices, and when there's multiple people, there's got to be a natural kind of leader. So for instance, I run another company with two other women, a second company, and in there we all have our strengths. But any meeting, I naturally run the meeting and ensure that the minutes are all done and the actions are done, because I do detail. I like to know what's happening when, whereas they're slightly different, and that wouldn't happen if I didn't do it. However, when it comes to other things, they will take their responsibilities. So within the organization of that company and that collaboration, I will take I suppose, the boss or the leader role in that. The other sort of structure is a flat collaboration. And a flat is where everybody shares the burden, the financial, the time, and the benefits. So you all do your own thing. So while in this collaboration I have with two other women, there's three of us, we all do equal amount of work. So if it wasn't for me ensuring the meetings are in, I'm chasing them up, actually we would have a flat collaboration because we all have our jobs to do and we all do the same thing. There's a committee I sit on, and everybody has their role, and everybody is responsible for their role, and is responsible to come to the meeting and report on their role. It is a flat collaboration. So if you're going into collaboration with somebody, say Tracy and I went into collaboration and we're saying that we'll do 50-50 work, that is flat. If we go into it and say Tracy's going to do 80% of the week work, then that's going to be, oh, someone else popping in here. We just let them in. That is going to be hierarchy, because Tracy's going to naturally take the lead because she's doing the majority of the work. So again, decide that. Now, you can call it what you like. I always think hierarchy sounds a little bit daunting, particularly for a small business, but basically work out how are you going to divide that work up and who will naturally take the lead, because that generally is what happens. Okay, so I'll give you a couple of examples of how this works. So an open collaboration, there's a company called Threadless. I think it's an Australian company, I'm not 100% sure, but they are an open collaboration. And what they do is they have this website with 600,000 members, massive, and they have 800 designers. And basically they invite designers onto this website and they can design t-shirts. So they come in and they design t-shirts. It's a great platform for young designers, new designers, or even like established ones to come in and sell their t-shirts. They're all unusual, they're unique, and then they make, obviously, Threadless then sell all these t-shirts. Now that's an open collaboration because anyone can come in and do it. But the thing about that is they have this set up in order to deal with that volume. So that's the thing with open collaborations as well. Do you have the setup to deal with potential volume? And there's a company called Alessi, which is an Italian company, and they're like a postmodern architectural design company. And they run a closed collaboration. So they invite 200 of the world's best designers, furniture designers, to design for them. So while it's a large scale collaboration, it is closed because they're picking and choosing who it is they invite in. Now, I want to show you some videos, okay? So these videos are a really good example and a fun example of collaboration. So I don't know if you've heard of Balmain, the designer, and most people have heard of H&M. So Balmain and H&M did a collaboration. Now, actually, H&M have done tons of collaborations with big designers, but Balmain one was one of the first and a real standout one. It sold out in, I think, 3 minutes. So they came together, designed a range of clothes, and in about 3 minutes, it had all sold out. It was a limited stock, so they'd done the whole marketing side around it. And the purpose was that it was bringing fast fashion effectively alongside luxury. And Balmain knows that H&M customers right now are not their customers. The H&M customers were about 15 to 20 years younger than their average customer. And therefore, if they can collaborate with a high street name, they can get their name out there and they might become their future customers. and it was a massive, massive success. And I think they've done a couple since then. What I don't know, was this closed or flat or hierarchy? I'd love to know the structure of it, but I am going to show you. First of all, I'm going to show you an H&M catwalk video. And then I'm going to show you a Balmain catwalk video. Now, what you'll see is in H&M is kind of young and funky, and they're laughing and lots of dancing and funky music. Balmain is very high end. It's the traditional catwalk and a bit more classical epic type music. And then I will show you the collaboration, and you can see where the two come together quite clearly. You still have a level of catwalk, you've got a bit of a funkier feel to it when they come together, but it's a bit more classy, I suppose, than the H&M kind of funky grungy. So when you watch these, look at the difference between the two individuals and how it comes together. And that's what you're looking for in a collaboration. So give me a wee second. I've got 3 different videos here, so I'm going to try and do them in the right order. Okay, so I'll show you H&M first. Let me just get that screen up. Okay, just gonna stop that before it starts going again. So you can see that it's a little bit different. The people are there all sat in funky tables that are lowered down. There's confetti, there's lots of laughing and happy. Okay, I'm going to show you the Balmain one now. Okay, so you can see how that's quite different. It's very, very professional, slick, and they've got the traditional big catwalk. So now I'm going to show you the collaboration, and hopefully you'll see this is how the two different companies coming together can really pull it off.
I think my vision of the collaboration is really different. I'm really happy that I bring the couture that Balmain is known for, and I'm really proud to celebrate flamboyance tonight.
Okay, can you see how The straight-laced Balmain one comes a bit more to life with H&M, but you can see how the smiling's still not there. They've still got the straight faces as they walk down the catwalks. They've added in the dancing, etc. So this is what you're effectively looking for with a collaboration. You're looking at how do the two companies have their differences and how can they come together to make something like really epic and that will be beneficial to both. So on advantages, the advantage of your collaboration is, it's problem solving. So it might be problem solving that you can both come together and solve an issue. It could be that you have a problem in your company and you need someone else to come in with you in order to fix that problem, so to speak. Expands your network. It diversifies your products and services, gives you bigger visibility. Hopefully, touch wood, there's financial benefits if that is your outcome. And it also allows new creativity as well. So, other things, other collaboration people don't think about is things like musicians. Ed Sheeran loves a collaboration. He's got a whole album that's all singing with other singers. So yeah, there's a lot of different types of collaboration out there. So it allows you to think outside the box a little bit. So other things to start thinking about then. So now you've decided the structure, potentially who you're going to go into collaboration with. You've had those discussions around how it's all going to work, who's doing what. The next thing is to think about the longevity of the collaboration. Is this going to be a limited edition or a one-off event? Or a service that will always be an offer. So what is the longevity? And like I said, the longer a collaboration is, the more difficult and more structure that it's going to need in order to keep going. How are you going to advertise it? So is it going to be on socials? Are you putting budget towards business groups or radio or TV, whatever it is, whatever you can advertise? How are you going to advertise it and market it and sell it? And where is the money and time coming from that? And how are you actually going to create it? So I did a collaboration, it's an event with another business, and actually we decided it's better to go onto her website than mine to sell tickets because she's got higher footfall to her website. And also she had a smaller percentage fee, a booking fee on her site. The only downside for me was for GDPR, I couldn't then take the database of people to put onto my database because the GDPR side of it was with her. So it's never going to be perfect. So we had to work around how do we do that? Because for me, one of the biggest collaborations there, another person coming in. So one of the biggest things with that collaboration was that I wanted the database. So we had to work at that. We changed the T's and C's in the privacy policy for that particular event to say that anyone that signs up to this will, the information be shared between both of the companies. Okay. So how do you actually start a collaboration? To be honest, you just don't be shy, just go and do it. So once you've gone through the sort of collaborations that you want to do, and you write out the plan of the purpose in the collaboration and how you're going to do it, start then thinking, okay, if it's going to be I'd actually write a document about the plan of what you want to do and what you want to get out of it, and therefore the types of companies or people that you need to work with, and create it into a document that you can give to people. Now, if you're going to do an open collaboration and say you're big on LinkedIn, you can put it out on LinkedIn and say, here is my collaboration plan. I'm looking for these types of people to work with. Please get in touch. Just ask. If you want to do a closed one and you know who you want to speak to, you know who you want to do a collaboration with, just ask them. The number of people I've worked with is like, I'm not sure. All they can say is no. And you go, okay, no problem. That's great. Thanks. And move on. If you don't ask them, they're not going to know. We're all in business to make money or to whatever your purpose in this collaboration is, for more visibility. We're all there. Like if somebody comes to you and asks you, would you like to collaborate with me? Here's the idea I have. Now you might look at it and go, brilliant, and might go, it's not for me. And that's totally fine. If somebody's come to you and you're not comfortable with it, and you don't want to do it, you would just go back and say, thanks so much. It was kind to think about me, but this one's not for me. And that's the same, that's the worst you're going to get as well. So put the work in advance on everything we've talked about. So I know Jane and Georgia, you've just come in. We're recording this so you can catch up afterwards. But the full structure and putting it all together at the start is really important. Put it into a document and put it out there. Start the conversation. Other things to think about with collaborations as well is the different types of ideas you can actually collaborate without really getting involved with other people. So your affiliate type options. So the likes of Amazon, say for instance, there's a business club that I'm in and they do book clubs. So the owner of the business club gets an affiliate link for every book they read, so that when she then says, right, this month's book is whatever it is, here's a link, my affiliate link, you can use to buy it. And she gets a kickback on that. So that is a collaboration that she is then selling, well, making money from selling books that are already on Amazon. There's no requiring people to use that, but why wouldn't you help a fellow business person out when you have to buy the book anyway? And there's lots of different things that do this, like for instance, the YouTube channel. If you get so many hours of views, then you get paid for your views because they can then put ads on them. And it's the same with, there's a couple of companies that I'm working with just now. I'm putting into place that I refer my clients to them all the time because they offer a service that is critical to my clients, but I can't deliver it. It's not something I do. So now that I've sent her a few clients, now she realizes actually I can be a feeder into her business. So she offered me the option, would you like to give all your clients a discount to come to me, or you take that as an introduction fee, and if it goes ahead, then I get paid for introducing people to her. Now, what I would say with these types of setups is I only personally do it when I actually believe this person can deliver a good, credible service. I would never do this with somebody just for the money if I didn't know they were going to offer a service. And we worked together for a year when I was like, you know what, there's so much business going there. She's doing an amazing job. And she approached me and said, keep bringing me people, but let me make you benefit from it. So now I have the option to go if one of my clients doesn't have a big budget, then I can take the discount off for them and they get the benefit. Whereas if a client can afford it, then I can get a kickback. And that's a nice option. And I do that with a lot of different people where I work with a business group and I'll do a workshop and say, do you know what, I'll run the workshop, but you go and sell it and I'll just take a set fee and you take the rest of the profit. Then it's on them to actually sell the event. So this collaboration around there's different ways of collaborating that not necessarily the two of you trying to get in there and do something together. Contra deals is another version of collaborations. So it could be that you have a service that somebody needs and they have a service that you need. So you can do a contra deal. Well, actually, if you do this, then I can do that for you. Or it's quite big in events. Do you know what? I need somebody to come and do catering at my event, but I have got 100 people in this room that are your ideal clientele that would book you. So come in, you do this for free and you'll get the PR for it. I run a networking event where we always have a local company that will come in and do little tasters or something for free. So like there's a local tea shop that came in and just did wee tasters of their cakes. And she's getting PR from, the ideal clientele because it's a local business network. So all the people that live in the area now know about her. For us, we're able to help promote them, but equally, our guests are now getting a little taster, which we didn't have to go out and buy. So there's that contra deal type collaboration as well. So just to recap, you need to think about the structure, the purpose, what do your values align, the relationship that's going to be there, how it works and if things went wrong or things went amazing, how will that relationship sustain itself, the communication, the outcome and evaluation, and your investment and time and financially as well. And then really looking at just going out and actually doing it. But take the time to create the document. Imagine somebody's coming to you, what details would you need? Does it tick all these boxes? And get that ready and then start sending it out to people or to a person. Okay, I did that in record time. Has anyone got any questions at all? Perfect. Okay. What I will do is, if you have booked through Viridor, then you will get a questionnaire back from them. Please fill that in with any feedback. Oh, Jeannie, yeah.
Hi.
Hi there.
Yeah, so I have a question. Because I'm a life coach, and then I was thinking about collaborating with other life coaches, but then it's like it's a competition as well because we are all life coaches. So like how do you approach when you feel like there's competition, and then you can also collaborate?
Okay, so I actually work with quite a lot of other consultants and other people who do social media as well, because your competition, having them, you know what they say, keep your enemies closer to an extent, but there's different ways you can do it. So I have done collaborations with other social media management companies. And what we've done is an event. So we've done like a panel event where we invite people along and we do a talk on a certain subject that's relevant, say, to life coaching. And it's open, and your audience is a mixed audience of people that have come because they're interested in what you're talking about. So in that respect, it's coming down to people will buy from people. So while you may all do the same thing, you might find that actually your personalities are different, and different people will naturally go and be warm to other people. Like at the start, I said there was an event I was on, two financial advisors, and both did exactly the same thing, said the same thing, but I naturally warmed to one of them and I would go with them. So in that respect, a good collaboration is an event, be it face-to-face or online, to talk through a certain subject that you want to talk about because you know you've got the right audience. Their audience is coming in as well. And it might be, even if they've seen that event from someone else's adverts, it might be they come in and go, actually, I really like you better, so I'm going to go with you. So that's one form of way of doing it. Another thing is, even though you're all life coaches, you may have different specialities. You might be better at something than other things, or you may have an understanding of one thing, but actually if it gets too deep in that particular subject, they're better going somewhere else. So maybe look at other life coaches who maybe specialize in something slightly different than you do, and you can refer back and forth as well.
Yeah. So my specialty, so I'm mainly focused on women and ethnic minorities, so that's my area. And then when I think about collaboration, I'm also thinking about people who are also specialized in women, ethnic minorities. So I'm not really trying to collaborate with people who are coaching different population. So that's the thing, we're kind of targeting the same audience.
Okay, so that's good as well, though, because they might have managed to tap into some people that you've not tapped into, and likewise. Life coaches are particularly, as you'll know, you need to gel with them and they need to gel with you. So there might be people following someone else because they know they need that service, but they're not quite gelling with that other person. It might also be that at some point, neither of you've got the capacity to take someone else on, but they've got somebody they can trust to refer across to. So you might not get as much from it initially, but if you're both supporting each other, you will both grow from it in the long term. I think also it really shows it shows a power of your confidence in yourself and in what you do if you can collaborate with someone in exactly the same field that does exactly the same thing, because it shows you're not worried about the competition, that you're confident in what you do, that you can work with somebody else in the same field. Because when you see it, you're just, you know what it's like if you see two people doing exactly the same thing and they they're doing something together. You're like, oh, they must be really confident in what they do. I went away to a business event with somebody else who does exactly the same thing as me. But she loves Instagram and I love LinkedIn. So our customers, like I will send customers to her who want to do Instagram and TikTok. And if she gets LinkedIn customers, she sends them to me because we do the same thing, but we've got limited space left. Therefore, we only want to take on the bits that work for us. So
Mm.
even if they're exactly the same, build those relationships because I will now send any inquiries I can't do to her automatically because I know she's good at what she does and I trust her. But I've known her for 3, 4 years and it's only been this year I started doing that. So yeah, I think while they can be slower in building that, a successful collaboration, it can be a really fruitful, beneficial
Yeah.
one in the future as well.
So I feel like it's myself having that perception that because I just moved to Glasgow and then I just started my business. I've been doing coaching for 2 years, but never really committed full time. So when I think about reaching out to these people who are already in Glasgow for a couple of years, who have a client base already, I'm kind of feeling that if people see us together, they may prefer someone who has more local experience than someone who doesn't have much local experience. Or the person reach out to may not want to collaborate with me because they don't see me as like the same level of competence or experience that they are. So like how do I approach people and communicate in a way that makes them more willing to collaborate with me, and then at the
Yeah,
same time do something that doesn't make me feel less experienced or
yeah.
yeah.
So I think actually because you're less experienced or you've had less time in the business, you'll be less of a threat or daunting to them. Um,
Yeah.
so it might make it easier. I think what you say to them is gonna, like, when you go to them, I would be really honest and say, I've just moved to the area, I've started my business, I'm not
Yeah.
here to steal business, I'm here to learn and be inspired by other people and
Yeah.
to build local relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to chat to you. And most
Mm.
people will, and particularly in your industry, where the whole purpose is to help people. Most people,
Yes.
and see if they say no, then they say no, you move on to another one. I
Mm.
don't actually think the local knowledge, okay, so maybe you have to build up your contacts, your network, of course, but actual local knowledge, like geographically, won't make a difference if what you're doing is going to help people in your
Mm-hmm.
particular industry. I mean, I know that
Yeah.
when it comes to marketing, the strategies I have that I teach will work anywhere. However, I am better doing it in a sort of central belt, Highlands of Glasgow, because that's where I have more contacts and therefore could be of more value. So it could even be that you approach them the way I've said, but also say I'm looking to meet new people and get out into, the business world a little bit more. Is there any networking events you go to or do you fancy a coffee? I would just be really open and honest with people because at the end of the day, um, if you speak to someone and they say no, they're not your person. But if you speak to them and they're happy to have a chat and help you, then you can say to them, look, there's not gonna. I think if you're honest and say you're not everyone that comes to you is going to be the right client for you, and you're happy then to refer them on as well. Particularly as you're new in the business as well, there might be something that's just a little bit too advanced for you at this stage. I remember when I started out, there was stuff that I just couldn't do, and I'd have to pass it on. But actually now those same people get passed back and forth. So be honest and just ask them. They can only say no, and you just move on from it.
Yeah. Another collaboration I have been working with a nonprofit, so I do training for them for free, kind of trying to build my credibility. But my hope was that by doing this for free, they'll introduce me to other people or they'll pay me for my training later. But now I don't see they have that desire to pay me later. They kind of have the expectation that I always do this for free. So I
Okay.
just know, yeah.
So with that, and it's a good way to get the word out there, I would tell them that you want to create a case study based on the work you're doing with them, and you'd like
Mhm.
their feedback, you'd like testimonial from them, and, and that at least gives you something to go to other uh, charities and not-for-profits and say, look, this is what I do. Been working with this company, we do a discounted rate for charities. I would also put a time limit on it. Just say, it's been great working with you, but we can no longer offer this. I'm happy to do a discounted rate. I'll finish this project, or I'll finish up at the end of August, but I actually have other projects coming up that I need to move on to.
Mm-hmm.
If you just continue working for free, they will never, ever pay you. They will never get to that point. It's very rare somebody that has got used to something for free will suddenly start paying you if you don't threaten to take it away. But if you're going to do that, you have to stand by it. Make sure you've got what you wanted out of it. You've got that case study that can go on your website or socials. You've got the testimonials and the stats, where they were before, where they are now. Gather all that and take what you need from it to grow your business. But yeah, I would walk away and put a time limit on that because it won't change.
So for future collaboration with nonprofits, should I start with charging a low fee, or can I still start with free? What's your suggestion?
You can. So I work with quite a lot of companies that will work with charities, and I work with a lot of charities, and I'll generally do a taster session for them. And if they like that, then we can go, right, what would benefit you? And let's talk about a series of things or a one-off thing, or what do they need and what would work. I will always do a discount for charities or not-for-profits, but you are not for profit. You need to pay your bill, so you have to keep that at the back of your mind. But absolutely do taster sessions. Everything you do for free, get a testimonial, get feedback from it. You need to get something from it other than just, them getting a freebie and you getting a feel-good feel. That won't grow your business. Get the feedback, because then you're building up on your. Nobody needs to know you did it for free. When you're advertising and marketing, look at these companies that you've worked with. That's all other people see, and that's your purpose in doing it in order to grow your business.
So the taster session will be free, but the second session will be discounted rate like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. And do you have other ideas for who can collaborate with as a life coach? Some people suggest me reaching out to therapists, but I don't think the therapist.
But what I would say is I'll put my email in the chat here because, it's probably not relevant for everyone else to sit and do a one-to-one on life coaching. But I'll put my email and just drop me a wee email. And the same if anyone else wants
Thank you. And I saw Claire's message. Thank you, Claire. Yeah. That's why actually I focus more on ethnic minorities and women, because I saw a lot of minorities migrating from other countries here. And then I was in the US before, and then was in China, and then I moved to London last year, and moved to Glasgow this year. So it's all a change. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's, that only builds your experience and your knowledge of different cultures, and I do think that knowledge of different cultures is really important for people.
Yeah, so I need to talk to more local people to know where this knowledge can be used, because I know it's valuable, but just don't know what kind of places may be able to.
Get yourself out to networking events. There's stuff like the Glasgow Girls Club, there's Scottish Women in Business, there's Glasgow Business Network. I'll send you, if you email me, I'll send you a list of different local networking events. Where are you based?
Central, I mean, not like Cessnock or Kennedy Park area.
Okay, cool. So these are all local to the area. So I'd get out there and just start meeting people. And the more people you meet, the more ideas you'll have. And if you say, look, I'm trying to grow my business, people will start to give you, I suppose in some respect, unsolicited advice, but if people will start giving you advice and ideas, and when you meet different types of companies in the local area who know the local area and the people, then they'll be able to say, actually, we've tried this, have you tried that? And you'll try lots of things and they might work and they might not, but it's a really good supportive networks in these groups to get out there.
I've done a lot of networking in the past month, and I just feel I was exhausted. I got drained.
It's so exhausting.
Yeah.
But you eventually pick the ones that work for you, but you need to try them to get out there. But drop me an email, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, anyone else got any questions? My email's there if anyone needs to, if wants to catch up afterwards, but I'm aware I don't want to sit and do big long one-to-ones on here when there's a group of you. I will download this recording and send the link to everyone. I'll send it to Karen, Viridor, who's down there, she's down below me, it could be somewhere else on your screen. So you can watch it back as well. And yeah, any questions, please just get in touch.